Podcast. My name is Carlos Smith, and I have another special guest with me today. She is the CEO of Motte Sons Bootlegging here in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and today I'm with Miss Eugenia Motte. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us here. This is a different interview because I've never had one of this kind of business. So for the people who don't know, what actually made you want to start this company?
Well, okay, so I have 4 sons, and I just wanted to go back to work, and so my husband said, well, let's start a business. I said, well, I'll only start a business if it's something that the boys would be interested later.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how they actually came up with this, and so that's how we got, into looking into it and saying, wow, it's legal here, so we started it.
Okay, and how long have you actually been in business?
Almost 4.5 years.
4.5 years. And what can you talk about how the actual process was like? Because I know I read that you guys you entered a competition.
We did.
Can you talk about a little bit about that process?
Yeah, so we were driving around just looking at vacant spaces, and then we started noticing all these signs in the windows saying Main Street Challenge. So my husband said, well, I wonder what that's all about. So we Googled it, of course, and it was the city's way of promoting new businesses. And so that was actually a nice incentive for us to, to even continue to search.
Back to the podcast, and as we were saying, what of all the companies that you could have started, what made you want to start this actual liquor store?
Okay, so we're a distillery.
Distillery, sorry.
Yes, so no, you're good. So whatever spirits we sell, we make. We can't sell anyone else's products.
Mm-hmm.
But so my sons, they, we're kind of like kidding, but they said, well, let's make moonshine, and so we were like, well, let's see. So we started looking into it, and it was legal in the state, and then started really looking into it. And at the time, there was only, I think when we applied for our license, we were the 4th distiller. We just applied for it for this state. By the time we opened, I think we were the 16th or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but wasn't popular here yet, or like had been popular in other states. So we thought, well, it's a good time to get into it.
Right.
And
so would you say that's the biggest difference between the distillery and like a ABC liquor store? Like you make your own. Is that the
yes?
difference?
So we have similar laws. Like we still can't be open after 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
But like a liquor store can sell whatever they want to sell as far as spirits go. We can have gift items as well as like a gift store along also with our alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And it does limit to us what we can sell as far as spirits go, but it's ours and it's unique and it's fun.
What were some of the issues, hurdles that you had to overcome when you first started the business?
Oh, it's all the licensing. It takes about a year before you get all the licensing accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
First, you have to file out for all the federal. You have to have the deed to the building. You have to, or the, signed lease.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have the serial numbers to your stills, and the layout, everything before you can even start applying for your license, and you don't even know if you're going to get it yet.
Right.
And all of that paperwork takes about a year before you actually finally get to open.
I know, of course, you have to be 21 before you can buy alcohol, and once you sell it to them, it's really out of your control who they give it to. But is there any kind of like way that you can protect yourself from like a lawsuit or anything, or is it?
Well, we have our insurance, and then we're always careful who we do sell it to.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, we are not like this is one part where we're not like a general ABC store. So we don't have kids that come in here. We have, adults that want quality and something special and something unique. And so those are our customers. They know what they like, but they're not kids coming in,
Absolutely.
for the least expensive thing they can find.
Yeah, exactly. I know I've experienced college, that's from my experience, but that's also one of my questions. Do you see any kind of spike in business when college comes in, and sometimes, of course, it may be some college students that may come in as 21 years of age. Does that help business?
We really don't get that crowd at all. When schools is the beginning of the school year, it's actually it's a more quiet period because everybody's getting back into the spirit of school and all of that, and so it's a little bit slower for us. And then the season starts, and that usually starts already September, October.
Does that make you kind of hesitant though at times, because of course, like you said, you have children that went to college that are of that age, and does that kind of make you hesitant when you have maybe a few college students that come in that are of age and they want to buy alcohol? Or you like, man, this is kind of like me selling it to my children? Or do you ever think of that sometimes? Or?
Yeah, of course, always. But like I said, I'm really fortunate that we don't have that age group, but we do get occasional. We do get parents that come in and say, hey, this is my child's 21st birthday, so we're giving them the Motte experience.
Right.
And it's very controlled, it's very mild, and if I do have kids that come in and they want a tasting and I know they're really young, I say, okay, who's the designated driver? And I don't serve them.
Right.
Mom force kicks in.
Yeah, I understand that. One of the things in the Herald Journal says that you guys sold your home in California to buy this building. It was debt free. Do you think you would have jumped into this business if you had to incur some debt?
I think we would have still, yeah. But we were just fortunate enough that we had that to be able to roll over into this. And because we do own the building, even if we tomorrow said, hey, we're going to sell the business, I wouldn't sell the building. I could still lease out the building. It's a great building. It's a good investment.
Would you tell people about it's fine, safety net wise? Did you come into it with the safety net, like, okay, if this doesn't work, then I have another plan B? Did you have that mindset, or were you just all in on this business?
Well, we're pretty much all in.
All in.
Yeah. We didn't. Yeah. There's no backup plan. I guess the backup plan is we have a great building, and that's an asset. So.
Is this a company that your kids, like you say, they were involved in the beginning, but is this like the first store that you guys actually had, and also do you look to pass this down through generations?
So we own other commercial buildings, but this is the only one that we own that we actually occupy as our own business. And the main reason why I chose this business is because, so that the boys could, I could just let it go to them eventually, get it humming, and then just make sure that they stay on top of it.
Right. So here you actually make your own alcohol.
Yeah. So we went to lots of classes all over the place to learn how to do this. We went to like the state of Washington, Kentucky, Chicago, California. We've been on many different classes all over, and just learn how it's done. And even to this day, if we have questions, or issues, we can call other distilleries. We can call companies that are our suppliers for product, and it's a really easy company to talk to other people, and we're all very supportive of each other. I mean, there's other distilleries that are here locally, and they'll call me or I'll call them, and it's a great relationship. So
those classes, they help you prep and let you know what you can mix together and what not to mix it. Because I know from like me and my friends, I'm not gonna throw anybody on the bus, but just doing foolish things when you're young, you just trying stuff. So you can just mix different alcohols together and just trying something. So do they teach you what to mix together and what you cannot put together?
Okay, so They do. So, I mean, every product, you know, the outcome is what spirit are you going to make. So the recipe is like, you know, for rum, for instance, you know, that's pure cane sugar and molasses for the aged rum, and the other one's just sugar cane. And, you know, you learn what makes a product, but then you tweak it to make it your own. So,
what is, for people that are watching this interview, I love to ask them, what would you say is like your blueprint for a business? If you had to lay it out your own way, everybody has a different way of doing things, but if you had to lay out your own plan for it, what would you say is the blueprint for starting a business?
Yeah, that's so individual.
Yeah.
That's a great question, but it's very individual to each business that you do. The blueprint originally was just, for us, I think, was just really concentrate on spirits, you know. But once people are in the door, if you have more other things to sell, you know, then, oh, well, here, let me buy a jar of pickles, or, you know, buy some of this. And the more you have, you know, there's more reasons for them to come here. You don't have to come here just for alcohol. You can come here for gift items as well, for any age group whatsoever. And I think that really helps in the long run.
Do you preach, and you know, your kids start work here and everything, and do you preach entrepreneurship to your kids because they see how you have your business and how successful it is? Is there something you preach to them? Start your own business, or what do you tell them?
Oh no, absolutely. But first and foremost, I want them all to have a college education first, so that they have the know-how to sustain it, to keep it going. That they've learned some, you know, more steps. And also, if one day they say, I'm tired of this, they have a degree, they can go out there and they can do something else versus this is the only thing I know.
And I love when we get on the subject of education, because it's something I talk about with my friends all the time. Is how I struggle with it, because I just want to know how important really is it to get an education. I think it's a great thing, but it's like you have to incur so much debt. Is it really worth going into debt, or how important do you think it is?
I think it's extremely important to have your education, because no one can ever take that away from you. I think if you can just, you know, not everybody gets a job in that degree. This is sometimes life chooses you, you don't get to choose it, but at least you have it, so you have that extra security in your mind and everywhere else, that you makes you just a step above everybody else. And even if you don't use it in the field you have your degree in, you're going to get a job before someone else most of the time, because you do have that degree, especially if they're looking for a degree. I mean, even people that have jobs forever at the same company, they're never going to get up to the next level because they don't have a degree. And a lot of companies say, hey, you know, you have to have a degree in order to be, you know, upper management.
And I ask that because sometimes I feel like, you know, who you know may be more important than what you actually know, because sometimes
there's always that factor. There's always that factor, but that might not be here tomorrow. That might change.
But it's just like, and I struggle. I say sometimes, you know, if they say, hey, you can return your degree tomorrow and we'll just wipe your debt, just free, you're debt free. Sometimes, like, you know what? Let me see if I would turn and get my degree back, just so I can start debt free, because now it's just like it just put me so much in a hole, and I struggle with it. But and I know sometimes I'm like, you know what? It's going to pay off in the long run, but right now it's just like
you're young and you're feeling the pressure. I get it. But you know, because you're young, you can work hard and you can make it happen. But it'll be there. Just give it time, just pay it off and keep going.
Absolutely, and I think it's just part of just, you know, being patient. And sometimes we just like we like results right away, and you know, I didn't get a chance once I got out of school with broadcasting. I didn't get a job right away, so of course now I'm doing this. But as that was just like my ultimate plan. Do you feel like entrepreneurs should go into it with a idea like, oh, if this doesn't work, you need to have a backup plan? Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say don't go into it being negative, thinking it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
But you have your education to help you get to that next level.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have that, you might, struggle harder and longer.
Right. What would you say is the hardest part of running this actual business? I know you were talking about the laws earlier, but what is something that would you say was the hardest part of running?
I think it's employees.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to have the same enthusiastic as you do as an owner.
Mm-hmm.
And and keeping that enthusiasm as you go.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a new challenge here and there, but we just overcome them.
And what would you say is like the biggest lesson that you've learned so far in this industry?
I don't know. I think I've always been a daughter of someone that's owned their own business, and so I think I've come already onto the table knowing things. It's just being your absolute best every day when you come to work. Don't bring your negative, whatever happened there. Just be happy and come to work and just enjoy it.
Just a few more questions and then we'll wrap it up. If you could look back, is there anything that you felt like you would have done differently along your journey?
No, I'm really happy with what we've done and how it's going.
Also, for people who don't know this business and haven't heard of and they come in and they want to drink. For me, I say all the time, I have professional. I like to tell people I have professional drinkers in my family.
Right.
What would you say is a drink for them? Like just if they want to have a nice time and get tipsy or they just drink today. Yeah.
Well, first you start them off with what is your go-to drink? What do you typically enjoy drinking?
Mm-hmm.
And then we go from there. And if it's like, whiskey, so then do you like it on the rocks or do you like old fashions or, what, and then we come up with a cocktail that makes them happy.
Mm-hmm. All right. I meant to ask you this earlier as well. For business advice, who do you go to actually for business advice? Because this is not like the average person doesn't run this to teach you things.
That's why a lot of times we belong to this group. It's called ADI, American Distilling Institute.
Mm-hmm.
And the president of that, I can call him at any point in time and say, hey, I'm having an issue with this or that, or can you help me, get me through this next level? And they know so many people, and they're so well connected that they can, they'll have me talk to so-and-so. And it's just always being willing to pick up that phone and call someone. And like I said, the local distilleries here, we have a good relationship. We can call each other at any point in time and, pick brains, and we do. And it's great.
If you could start any other business other than this, what would you say it would be? Any other option, like a dream job or anything?
Yeah, probably flipping houses.
Flipping houses, real estate.
I like doing that kind of stuff. I like to just
real estate.
Take something, gross, and make it pretty.
And also, do you look to expand this and branch out, or do you just want to keep this one company?
We talk about that too. In this state, you can only own one distillery, and you can only have up to 3 storefronts. So this being one, so we can actually have 2 other storefronts, and we talk about that, once in a while. But to me, the goal is to get the spirits into more bars and restaurants, and not worry so much about the storefront.
Does that hurt a little bit when, like you said, trying to get it into other businesses, but like a liquor stores up the road, and people can go to, like, they can say, okay, well, I'll go to Wild Wings and I can eat and I can drink at the same time. Does that kind of hurt you guys, or is it
No,
good to
not
be
at
in this
all.
location?
It's good to be here. Being on Main Street would have been great, but because we do have our own parking lot, we get a lot of people that just come run in, grab something and go. And I think if we were right on Main Street, it would be harder for them to, sometimes you want to go eat at Wild Wings, let's say, and then you can't find parking. So
Right.
you kind of go, well, where else can we go?
Right.
But for us, the goal is that our spirits are sold at Wild Wings, so that when you go there, you can ask for Motte Sons.
Oh, okay. You are able to give.
Right. So how our state is a 3-tier system, which is not very easy for us, being a micro distillery. So, which means we have to sell our product to the distributor. The distributor sells it to the liquor stores, and then the liquor stores have to sell it to the bars and restaurants.
Oh, okay.
And so it's to get it into some place isn't just knocking on the door and saying, hey, do you want to start carrying our product? You have to go through these levels. And that's almost like a full-time person to do that kind of thing. And being small, that's an extra expense that, I don't have. So that's a challenge.
Well, we're talking about expenses. One of the things I meant to ask a few other entrepreneurs is, when you're making your profit and everything, how do you know what's actually yours to take home, and then of course, like, what do you leave for business? Like, how do you differentiate that?
Well, that comes to my husband because he is the CFO. I am his education. He's a CEO now, but he does the books. He does, I write the checks, of course, but he's the one who tells me where I'm at, what's going on, and all that good stuff. But I don't take a salary. I don't take one penny. Everything goes right back into the business.
Into the business. Okay. My final question is, what would you say is your ultimate goal?
The ultimate goal is that it's self-sustaining, so that last year I think I only had to take 2 draws from my husband, where we ran short. So, to say that I actually have a bank account where I can actually go, we're good today. Everything's great. All right. Well,
thank you, Ms. Eugenia. Thank you for having us here, and thank you for the opportunity to sit down and learn about your business. Before we get out of here, can you tell everybody do you have any advice you want to give anybody, or tell them how to find you?
Well, advice, no, just come and try us because you will enjoy it, you will like it, I promise. And to find us, we're just on East Daniel Morgan. It's in between the Marriott and Big Bailey. We're just kind of in the middle there.
All right. Thank you again. And for everybody listening, hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, this is Cross the Line Podcast. Keep chasing dreams. Thanks for listening.